Living to 100 isn't just about good genetics, it's about daily choices, especially the food you put into your body. In the United States, where chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and obesity continue to dominate, food can either be a weapon or a trap. A growing number of people across the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and Australia are realizing that health isn't just about cutting calories or counting carbs. It's about nutrient density, longevity, and real cellular repair. People ask, why are some cultures living longer with fewer medical interventions? It's not luck. It's not advanced surgeries. It's consistent, strategic nourishment. Every bite either adds or subtracts from your life. And while hospitals in the United States are overwhelmed with preventable illnesses, there are people in their 90s and 100s walking unassisted, remembering names, and living without medications. Why? Because of what they eat. One of the most important and underrated longevity foods is wild salmon. Not farmed, not genetically modified. True wild-caught salmon, especially from clean waters like those found in Alaska. The omega-3 fatty acids found in wild salmon, particularly EPA and DHA, are essential for reducing inflammation, supporting brain health, and maintaining heart function. Chronic inflammation is one of the root causes of nearly every major disease in the United States, from Alzheimer's AS to arthritis. People often underestimate the damage being done inside their arteries, their joints, their brain, just from inflammatory foods, and wild salmon is nature's antidote. Omega-3s help reduce triglycerides, stabilize heart rhythm, and even support cognitive health. In populations with high wild fish consumption, such as the Okinawans or certain indigenous groups in Canada, dementia and heart disease rates are astonishingly low compared to the United States. Real people have turned around diagnoses of early cognitive decline or high blood pressure simply by switching out processed meats and loading their plate with high-quality salmon twice a week. It's not magic. It's science-backed nutritional therapy that hospitals rarely emphasize. Fermented foods are another key that too many people in the United States completely ignore. Sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, tempeh, kefir. These are gut-saving, immune-supporting, disease-fighting foods that have been used for centuries, especially in older cultures like those in Japan and Korea. Americans have been sold the lie that yogurt cups packed with sugar and artificial flavors are the same thing. They are not. Real fermented foods are alive. They populate your gut microbiome with billions of beneficial bacteria that regulate your immune system, digest your food, and even manufacture neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. There are countless stories of people who struggled with digestive disorders, autoimmune conditions, or even severe anxiety, who saw drastic improvements simply by introducing fermented foods into their diet. In the United Kingdom and Canada, functional medicine doctors are now advising patients to focus on microbiome diversity, and for good reason. A diverse gut equals a resilient body. The average adult in the United States consumes less than one type of fermented food a week. That's a big problem, especially considering that over 70% of your immune system is directly tied to your gut. A strong gut can literally mean the difference between catching a cold and fighting off cancer cells. The people living past 100, they aren't taking multiple rounds of antibiotics a year. They're feeding their microbiome, not destroying it. Then comes one of the most overlooked but powerful additions to a longevity diet: dark leafy greens. Think kale, spinach, collard greens, Swiss chard, arugula. These greens are nutrient powerhouses. They're loaded with folate, magnesium, vitamin K, lutein, and chlorophyll, all of which play a direct role in cardiovascular health, detoxification, and even DNA repair. In the United States, fast food and overcooked vegetables dominate most meals. Real greens are missing. But in regions known for longevity, like the blue zones in Costa Rica or Sardinia, dark greens are eaten daily, often multiple times per day. And not as a side dish, as the main event. In Canada and Australia, more and more nutritionists are emphasizing these foods for their ability to reverse arterial plaque and reduce blood pressure naturally. Imagine someone who's been on hypertension medications for years, suddenly watching their blood pressure normalize after increasing their intake of potassium-rich greens. It's not fiction, it's documented. And in the United States, where over 100 million adults have high blood pressure, this is a life-or-death food group. People don't realize how much stress they were placing on their heart by skipping greens and filling up on sodium and sugar. The nitrates in leafy greens convert into nitric oxide in the body, which helps widen blood vessels and reduce blood pressure. This is not optional. This is survival. Extra virgin olive oil deserves its place at the center of any serious longevity strategy. But again, not just any olive oil. It has to be high quality, cold-pressed, and truly extra virgin, not the fake blends flooding the shelves in many U.S. grocery stores. The polyphenols in olive oil fight oxidative stress, reduce inflammation, and support heart and brain health. In fact, studies show that regular consumption of extra virgin olive oil reduces the risk of stroke and heart attack, two of the top killers in the United States. People in Mediterranean countries aren't using canola or corn oil. They're using real olive oil, drizzling it on vegetables, dipping their bread, even taking it by the spoonful. This isn't just flavor. It's medicine. There are countless stories of individuals with joint pain, memory fog, even hormonal imbalances who saw improvements after switching to high polyphenol olive oil. It works on a cellular level to protect your mitochondria, the energy factories of your cells. Without that protection, aging accelerates. In places like Italy or Greece, where olive oil is a staple, people often live well into their 90s with full mobility and sharp minds. In contrast, the United States sees early-onset heart disease and cognitive decline largely driven by inflammatory fats. The United Kingdom and Australia are catching on, with more households choosing extra virgin olive oil over processed seed oils. If your pantry doesn't have it, your cells are paying the price. Berries, especially blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries, are antioxidant bombs that the body desperately needs. They're rich in anthocyanins, vitamin C, fiber, and polyphenols that not only support cardiovascular health, but also play a major role in neuroprotection. In the United States, sugar-filled snacks are the go-to for children and adults. Meanwhile, real food like berries gets ignored or replaced with artificial fruit-flavored substitutes. The people living the longest are not consuming Pop-Tarts and colored candies. They're eating real berries every single day. One long-term study conducted in the United States found that women who consumed the most blueberries and strawberries had slower rates of cognitive decline, by up to 2.5 years. That's not a small difference. That's the ability to remember your children's names or not. In Canada, berry-rich diets are linked with better insulin sensitivity, reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes, a disease that's now hitting younger populations, even teenagers. Berries help reduce oxidative stress in the brain, lower blood pressure, and improve blood sugar regulation. If people in the United Kingdom or Australia replaced just one daily snack with a cup of berries, the national health impact would be massive. Real food is the medicine no one is prescribing. Think about that next time you grab a bag of chips. Another food that stands at the top of the longevity pyramid is nuts, especially walnuts, almonds, pistachios, and macadamias. These are not just snacks. These are nutrient-dense, heart-protecting, brain-fueling powerhouses. In the United States, where heart disease is the #1 killer, people are still afraid of fats. But nuts are full of healthy fats, plant-based proteins, magnesium, vitamin E, and fiber, all of which reduce LDL cholesterol, stabilize blood sugar, and reduce the risk of sudden cardiac death. Numerous studies have shown that people who eat a small handful of nuts most days live longer, with fewer chronic diseases. Walnuts, in particular, are rich in ALA, a plant-based omega-3 that helps reduce inflammation. In places like Loma Linda, California, one of the only blue zones in the United States, nut consumption is common and consistent. These aren't just snack foods. These are serious health tools. In Australia and the United Kingdom, where more plant-based eating is being adopted, nuts are becoming a cornerstone for those looking to improve their lipid profiles and reduce inflammation. It's time Americans stopped fearing fats and started fearing the consequences of avoiding these life-extending foods. Imagine how many lives could be saved every year in the United States if, instead of vending machines packed with chips and candy, offices and schools offered raw, unsalted nuts. Another food linked tightly with exceptional longevity, especially in cultures where reaching 100 is not rare but expected, is legumes: beans, lentils, chickpeas, and peas. These foods are consumed daily in most of the longest-living populations in the world. In contrast, in the United States, legumes are tragically underconsumed, despite being incredibly affordable and nutrient-dense. They are packed with plant-based protein, fiber, folate, iron, magnesium, and a wide range of polyphenols that act as antioxidants in the body. In fact, the average fiber intake in the United States is shockingly low. Most Americans get less than half of the daily recommended amount, leading to digestive issues, higher cholesterol, and increased inflammation. Meanwhile, just 1 cup of cooked lentils contains over 15 grams of fiber and 18 grams of protein, without the saturated fat and cholesterol found in animal proteins. Across the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia, public health experts are urging people to return to legumes as daily staples due to their role in controlling blood sugar, supporting digestive health, and reducing cardiovascular risk. In places like Sardinia and Nicoya, where centenarians are thriving, beans are part of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In the United States, stories are piling up of people reversing type 2 diabetes, lowering A1C levels, and getting off blood pressure medications just by replacing meat-heavy meals with lentils, black beans, or chickpeas. These foods don't spike blood sugar like refined grains or sugary snacks, making them perfect for people managing insulin resistance. Plus, they help feed the beneficial bacteria in your gut, adding to the microbiome diversity that keeps your immune system sharp. And people forget how satisfying these foods are. Their high fiber content slows digestion, keeps you full, stabilizes appetite, and reduces cravings. Yet too many Americans still fall into the trap of ultra-processed convenience foods, never realizing the power packed into a simple pot of lentil stew. Legumes are not old-fashioned, they are essential. Garlic, though small and humble, has one of the strongest reputations for healing across multiple systems of the body. Real garlic, not powdered, not flavored oils, not garlic salt. Raw or lightly cooked garlic contains allicin, a compound that has powerful antimicrobial, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory properties. In the United States, high blood pressure continues to ravage millions, contributing to stroke, heart attack, and kidney failure. Garlic helps lower blood pressure naturally by relaxing blood vessels and improving circulation. Real people who started incorporating fresh garlic into their meals consistently have seen measurable drops in systolic blood pressure. In both the United Kingdom and Canada, Garlic supplements are even used therapeutically for managing cholesterol and immune dysfunction. But Americans often miss the mark by turning to garlic bread soaked in butter and refined flour, which doesn't offer the same benefit. Traditional cultures that consume fresh garlic daily, such as in rural parts of Italy or Greece, often show significantly lower rates of certain cancers, particularly those of the stomach and colon. Beyond cardiovascular benefits, garlic is also being studied for its role in cancer prevention, especially due to its ability to boost detoxification enzymes in the liver. When garlic is crushed or chopped and allowed to sit for a few minutes before cooking, the formation of allicin intensifies, enhancing its health benefits. Australians, too, have begun using raw garlic as a functional food, adding it to soups, dressings, and dips, not just for flavor, but for life-saving impact. People who have used antibiotics frequently or suffered from chronic infections often report fewer illnesses and improved immunity once garlic becomes a consistent part of their meals. It's a simple, ancient tool that modern medicine often ignores. But the people who live to 100 in high numbers are not ignoring garlic. They're using it daily as a shield. Sweet potatoes, especially the purple and orange varieties, are another longevity powerhouse found in the diets of centenarians, especially in Okinawa, Japan, where they make up over 60% of total caloric intake for elders who remain physically active and mentally sharp well into their 90s and beyond. Sweet potatoes are low glycemic, meaning they do not cause blood sugar spikes like white bread, sodas, or cereals, staples far too common in the United States. Instead, they offer a steady stream of energy and are rich in beta-carotene, vitamin C, potassium, and fiber. In the United States, the rates of metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance have exploded. Obesity is a national crisis. Yet in populations that eat sweet potatoes daily, you'll rarely find cases of type 2 diabetes or cardiovascular disease. Canadians have been incorporating more of these root vegetables into anti-inflammatory diets for arthritis, autoimmune conditions, and even skin issues due to their ability to regulate glucose and reduce oxidative stress. There are powerful real-life stories of people replacing processed carbs with roasted sweet potatoes and watching their energy, mood, and blood sugar stabilize without medications. In Australia and the United Kingdom, nutritionists have emphasized purple sweet potatoes due to their high anthocyanin content, which provides neuroprotective effects that support brain health, reduce dementia risk, and even fight age-related memory loss. Meanwhile, many Americans are still stuck in carb confusion, fearing anything with natural sugar, while continuing to consume high-fructose corn syrup from sodas and packaged snacks. Sweet potatoes provide a natural, balanced source of complex carbohydrates that the body can actually use to build energy and resilience. In cultures where sweet potatoes are a staple, fast food does not dominate the landscape. There's a reason for that. Food is not just fuel, it's instructions to your DNA. And while many foods support the body physically, green tea is one of the rare ones that supports mind, metabolism, and longevity simultaneously. Green tea, especially varieties like matcha or sencha, contains catechins like EGCG, which have been extensively studied for their role in reducing oxidative damage, improving fat metabolism, protecting neurons, and even reducing cancer risk. In the United States, where sugary drinks and coffee-based dessert beverages dominate, green tea is underutilized. But in Japan and parts of China, green tea is consumed multiple times daily. And those populations exhibit some of the lowest cancer rates in the world. It's not coincidence. It's consistent antioxidant exposure. EGCG helps protect the brain from damage, reduce the buildup of amyloid plaques associated with Alzheimer's, and even promotes fat oxidation, meaning it helps the body burn more fat for energy. Countless individuals in the United States who switched from soda to green tea have reported sustained energy, less brain fog, improved skin clarity, and weight loss. In Canada and the United Kingdom, wellness practitioners are increasingly encouraging daily green tea rituals, not just for physical benefits, but for mental clarity and stress reduction. Unlike coffee, green tea provides a more balanced stimulant effect, thanks to its natural L-theanine content, which promotes calm alertness without the crash. This is crucial in a time when stress-related illness and anxiety are on the rise, especially in the United States, where work hours are longer and burnout is more common. People who drink green tea regularly often report less anxiety, better focus, and even improved sleep quality. In Australia, green tea is even being included in therapeutic plans for patients recovering from chemotherapy, due to its gentle but potent detoxifying effects. Green tea doesn't just hydrate, it heals. It works on the liver, the brain, the gut, the skin, offering layer after layer of health protection that builds over time. Americans who rely heavily on energy drinks, coffee creamers, another massively underrated food that shows up repeatedly in the diets of those living past 100 and virtually never in the standard American diet, is seaweed. This marine vegetable is common in many coastal regions and blue zone areas, especially Japan and parts of Korea, where it's not viewed as a trendy health food, but a staple, eaten daily in soups, salads, snacks, and broths. Seaweed like nori, wakame, dulse, and kelp is incredibly rich in iodine, calcium, iron, magnesium, and several antioxidants, including fucoxanthin, which has been linked to fat metabolism and anti-cancer properties. In the United States, iodine deficiency is on the rise again, especially among women, increasing the risk of thyroid disorders and fatigue, yet seaweed is rarely recommended by mainstream doctors. Compare this to Canada or the United Kingdom, where more integrative health professionals are advocating for seaweed due to its hormone-supporting and detoxifying effects. Fucoxanthin, found in brown seaweeds, has been shown to reduce visceral fat, the dangerous fat stored around internal organs. In a country like the United States, where over 42% of adults are obese,